Virginia Hill is the first woman to become a full-fledged accomplice in the dark affairs of the Mafia along with men. How was she able to achieve this and what did it lead to? The beginning of the way. Virginia was born in 1916 in a tiny town in Alabama. Her family could not be called prosperous. The girl was the seventh child. The father was an alcoholic who constantly raised his hand to his wife and children. At the age of 7, Virginia first rebuffed her drunken father, who climbed on her with his fists, defending herself by hitting him with a frying pan. By the age of 14, Virginia had grown into a pretty young girl and realized that she was very attractive to men. She decided she could take advantage of the attraction to earn her living. At the age of 17, the girl moved to Chicago and got a job as a waitress in a large restaurant. But, in addition to the menu, she offered intimate services to wealthy visitors. It soon turned out that this restaurant belongs to the legendary Al Capone, and then Virginia decided to work her way into the underworld of the Mafia. She started dating Al Capone's fiancée Minnie. The girls found a common language, and Virginia began to visit her often for tea, making more and more acquaintances with gangsters. Moving up the career ladder. Soon the girl was noticed by Joseph Epstein, who controlled all the bets on the races. He rented an apartment for Virginia, provided clothes and jewelry. Everyone was sure that Virginia was his new mistress. But she only served as a front, because Joseph preferred men. However, this status allowed her to throw the most grandiose and spicy parties, invite the largest mafiosi and racketeers, find out from them the necessary information, which she later passed on to Epstein. To the surprise of the Mafia, who had seen different things, Virginia quickly mastered the science of the underworld and was well versed in the difficult criminal accounting. She fearlessly made the necessary acquaintances, and where diplomacy and threats did not work, she used her beauty and seductiveness. Without hesitation she could spend the night with the person necessary for the Mafia. By the age of 25, she had become the chief courier for the Chicago mob. Virginia arranged clan negotiations, transported black cash and drugs for big money. One day, she ended up in Los Angeles in order to arrange a business meeting with the Mafia controlling this city, Bugsy Siegel. He was a real Hollywood handsome, dimples on his cheeks, perfect styling, blue eyes. Despite the fact that Hill made a promise to herself never to fall in love, but to use men only for money, she could not resist Bugsy. Flamingo. Virginia and Bugsy begin a torrid romance. These relationships could not be called healthy, because the lovers constantly cursed, cheated on each other, and sometimes it even came to fights. But both were satisfied with this format. Bugsy was so deeply in love that he became a bigamist. He had a wife in the States, but he and Virginia fled to Mexico and got married there. Their crazy relationship lasted 5 years. For the sake of his beloved Bugsy, he decided to build a luxury hotel with a casino and name it in honor of Virginia, Flamingo. The girl received such a nickname for her long slender legs. However, the construction of the hotel did not go smoothly. Either Siegel was a bad businessman, or he and Virginia decided to fill their pockets well. He had to borrow more and more money from Mafia investors who expected to capitalize on the profits from the hotel. As a result, the members of the Mafia decided that Bugsy was deceiving them. Some said that Siegel himself became a victim of unscrupulous contractors who were pulling money, and some said that his beloved surrendered him. Clouds were gathering over Bugsy's head. In addition to problems with the hotel, which even after opening brought problems, it turned out that Siegel had a secret accounting department and transferred huge amounts of money from the proceeds to foreign accounts in Virginia. For this he received a bullet in the forehead. Virginia was unharmed because she was not in America at the time of the murder. Many are sure that the girl herself gave up her husband's whereabouts and hurried to hide. Infamous end. After Bugsy's death, Virginia's life went downhill. She became depressed. She even tried to commit suicide. Law enforcement agencies began to show interest in her. She was summoned for interrogation and charged with non-payment of a huge amount of taxes. By this time, she had no former wealth left and the girl had to hide abroad. In the 50s, Virginia unexpectedly gave birth to a son from an Austrian, with whom she was not married for long, and in the 60s she and her son had to flee to Mexico. They huddled in tiny rooms and lived on the salary of their 15-year-old son, who got a job as a waiter. Virginia decided to take a desperate step and decided to pull money from old acquaintances, the American Mafia, threatening that she would give out all their secrets, which she prudently wrote down in her diary. Former colleagues could not forgive such behavior. Virginia received an envelope with $10,000, but soon she was found dead on a street in Naples.